Welcome to Jagee's Cookbook, your favorite show, cook show. Well, I'm going to show you this time a piece of heaven. Yes, a wonderful pound cake. Now, different people have different versions of pound cake, and also different people have different names for pound cake. Here, they say, I've heard them saying butter cake, normal white cake, tea cake, lots of different names. But what is necessary for you to know is that it is called pound cake, and how it came about was that we took they took a pound of each ingredient and made a pound cake. That's how the name pound cake came into being. Whatever, no one can resist a piece of pound cake, whether you are old or young or whatever. A pound cake is always welcome on any occasion. You can absolutely serve it anytime, and you will be really happy with your guests, and they will be happy too. Now, how we go about it is different methods, like I told you before, and I'm going to show you a very simple method, also a very light, airy method. Nowadays, the pound cake is much more airy and light, and modern take of it. The usual pound cakes in our grandmother's times were actually a bit more dense and a bit more richer. But this time, I'm going to show you a lovely pound cake which is very easy, totally easy, very filling, very satisfying, both for your kids, for the elderly, for your guests, for you yourself, anyone. It's also very good to have it along with breakfast, with your cup of tea or coffee. A piece of cake, a piece of heaven, and you will thank me for this once you see this. Wait and see. So let's start the process of making the cake. Now, first of all, what we need is 100 grams of unsalted butter. 100 grams of unsalted butter and half a cup of oil. Okay, this should be sunflower or any flavorless oil. It can be sunflower oil or canola oil, no problem. Now, usually it was full butter. The pound cake was made of full butter. That's why it was also called butter cake. But now it's a more modern take on the pound cake, and it's more of lighter texture. That's why we have oil here. And now, right now, I have actually mixed in canola oil, half a cup of canola oil with 100 grams of unsalted butter. Okay. Now, let that beat for some time, okay, and then we have to add 2 cups of sugar. So 2 cups of sugar, caster sugar, okay. This should be just like the buttering, the creaming method of butter and sugar. You have to make it pale, light and fluffy. Now, in our mixture, okay, we are going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and let it mix along. Okay, we add the rest. Keep a little bit back because we're going to use this for beating in with the egg whites. Okay, so I've said we have to separate 4 eggs. I've got 4 eggs out here, and I need to separate this. Okay, now the yolks have to be separated. Okay, and then we add the yolks one by one into it. So let me separate this. Okay, just with your hand. Now, if you're squeamish about touching eggs, don't do this. Just do it with the eggs. Break the eggs and try to separate it with that. But I actually love the texture of eggs and egg whites. Just let the whites flow down and use the yolk. Okay. So the egg whites and sugar is going to be on one side. We have our egg yolks, 4 egg yolks, and this has to be whisked. Just whisk this in. Now add the egg yolks one by one. Remembering to beat after each addition. So in this we have around 100 grams of unsalted butter, half a cup of any flavorless oil, sunflower oil, canola oil, anything, and then we need 4 eggs, and these are the egg yolks. Now, to this I've got around 3/4 cup of buttermilk, okay? Now, either if you don't have buttermilk, it's okay, you can use 1 tablespoon of vinegar and the rest of milk to make up 3/4 cup of buttermilk or sour milk, okay? So add a little bit, keep on churning, then add the rest, okay? Now, you must have noticed the mixture has become really light and it's not dense. The mixture is not dense, it's very light and very fluffy and very beautiful it is, okay? So that's what, it's just like mayonnaise actually. That's what you should aim for. This is the consistency you want. So that is done. Now the next step is beating up the egg whites, okay? Now what we have to do is, first of all, put a pinch of salt into egg whites, 4 egg whites. Beat it very, very slowly. Now, add the rest of the sugar till it becomes glossy. The rest of the 2 cups of sugar. So altogether we need 2 cups of sugar. Now we need the rest of the sugar. The other one was beaten in the butter. Second stage is also done, that is the glossy egg whites. Okay, the egg whites and the rest of the sugar is also whipped up. Now all we have to do is just incorporate all these mixtures together. Just pour it into the cake tin, transfer it into the oven. So what I'm going to do, I've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 3 cups of all-purpose flour with 4 teaspoons of baking powder. So 3 cups of all-purpose flour, sifted 3 to 4 times with 4.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, to make things easier, I'm just going to sift it in on top. Okay, again, the more you sift, the more uniform the ingredients will be spread out and distributed, and also the more air you get into the mixture. Okay, that is it. Now what we need to do is just mix the whole thing up. Okay, carefully. Now while you're mixing this, we have to incorporate our egg whites also. So little by little, add the egg whites, mix everything together. This method, this creaming and whipping method, whisking method, will ensure that your cake is fluffy and soft. Don't do it slowly, just do it with confidence. Okay, cake batter is done. All I have to do is transfer it onto a cake tin. Now this has been lined with butter paper and also it has been greased. a lovely cake batter is done. All I have to do, this is heavy. Oof. Let's pour this cake batter into the cake pan. And just spread it out. Try to make a small indentation in the middle. Otherwise, your cake will go like this. It will go like a mile. You want a level, straight level cake. So try to make a small hole in the middle. Push it together this side. Don't worry. The cake will turn out good. All we need to do, I've got a preheated oven, 180. You need around 1/4 hour, depending upon the oven. So bake. Once it's baked, the perfect pound cake. My kitchen is smelling of heaven. Now, I don't know how that smells, but I know it's heavenly smell. So I'm going to see how exactly my pound cake is done. So you come with me. Let me put on my gloves. I don't want to burn my fingers. There we go. Okay. This is it. And we have to, leave it to cool. Now, just carefully and leave it. Okay, we'll just put this out here. Now, this actually, now you can see the butter paper down. This actually doesn't need anything. You just need, if you want, just put a little bit of brushing of icing sugar or glazed icing. Glazed icing is just water and icing sugar mixed in a thick paste and just put it on, spread it, let it flow. Okay, that is good. Or just a piece, or just sprinkling of caster sugar or even icing sugar. That's it, because this itself is more than enough. So exactly how you decorate it, you can also decorate it with cream and fruits, anything. It's all up to you, even chocolate ice cream, anything. But it's always better to leave it as simple as possible. So here what I'm going to do is simple icing, okay? Very, very, very simple icing. And a glaze icing. This is called a glaze icing. Icing sugar, we need icing sugar. Sift it, because icing sugar is very notorious in catching lumps, and we don't want a lumpy icing. Look at it, snowfall. Okay, now next what we need is a little bit of water. Now be very, very careful. When you actually make glaze icing, be very careful in adding the water. When you add water, add very, very little, because I always make the mistake of pouring a bit more water than necessary, and then I add up putting more icing sugar, because we need a thick consistency. Unless you have a sort of a flowing consistency, you won't get the right texture of it. So a bit of water, okay, and just make it a paste. My glaze icing is done. Okay, the consistency should be kind of thick. Okay, not too thick and not too runny. You have to reach a sort of consistency and texture like this. Okay, it should be smooth. All you do is just pour it on. Okay, and let it find its way through. Let it drip down naturally. Okay. Now pour on and just spread it, okay? Yes, my cake is done, glossed and totally iced or glaze iced. Now you can, like I told you, you can decorate it whatever way you want. This is for you. Try it at home. You'll love it, because it is a piece of heaven just for you.